The persistent shadow of decertification, a 1991 police decertification case, resurfaces, highlighting systemic gaps in accountability and public information access. The public emergence of a record for Patrick M. Wagner, a police officer decertified in Georgia in 1991, underscores a critical tension between historical administrative action and contemporary demands for transparency.
While the Tennille Police Department formally severed ties with Wagner over 3 decades ago, the case's propagation to modern digital platforms like Cop Blaster transforms a closed personnel file into an active node in the current discourse on police oversight. This is not merely a historical footnote. It represents how legacy data, when digitized and tagged for discoverability under banners like police accountability, acquires new relevance and potency.
The immediate technical blockade of the source website by Chromium filters introduces a parallel narrative about information controls, suggesting the content is perceived as a security risk or undesirable material, thereby complicating public access to official records.
Archival data in the digital age. The technical obstruction of the source material reveals the fraught ecosystem where accountability journalism operates. The attempted access to Cop Blaster,
resulting in an error blocked by client notification, frames this specific case within a broader technical and ethical landscape. Such blocks are typically implemented via browser extensions or local security policies, often targeting sites deemed to host malicious content or reputation-damaging material.
This creates a significant contextual layer. The platform archiving this decertification data is itself marginalized by common web security protocols, potentially limiting its audience to those with technical knowledge to bypass warnings. Consequently, the factual record of a decertified officer becomes entangled in debates over content moderation, source credibility, and digital gatekeeping.
The status quo is defined by this asymmetry. Public appetite for accessible misconduct databases clashes with infrastructure that often categorizes such aggregators as threats.
Deconstructing the accountability pipeline. The journey from a 1991 state commission ruling to a 2024 social media tag illustrates a fragmented information supply chain. The deep dive into this case reveals a multi-stage pipeline for police accountability data.
It originates with a formal state-level decertification action, a permanent revocation of policing credentials administered by Georgia's Peace Officer Standards and Training Post Council. This action should be the definitive endpoint.
However, the data then enters a secondary, informal dissemination phase through third-party aggregators like Cop Blaster, which scrape, compile, and republish such records, applying SEO optimization and social media tags. Georgia law decertified officer to maximize visibility. The final stage is distribution via social networks, where the data is stripped of nuanced context but gains viral potential.
The core mechanics hinge on the failure of official channels to provide easily searchable, comprehensive public databases, creating a market gap filled by independent actors whose methods and presentation can trigger security filters, as observed here.
Systemic vulnerability and strategic imperatives. This micro case exposes macro vulnerabilities in the official transparency apparatus, demanding proactive institutional response. The strategic verdict is that legacy decertification records represent a persistent liability and an untapped opportunity for law enforcement agencies.
The risk lies in allowing historical personnel actions to be framed and disseminated solely through unofficial, potentially adversarial channels, which can erode public trust and distort historical context. The opportunity is for state post councils and legislative bodies to preemptively modernize their public reporting, creating authoritative, user-friendly portals that offer complete historical data.
Next steps must involve auditing the accessibility of all decertification records, developing clear protocols for their digital publication, and engaging in public communication to direct citizens to these verified sources. Failure to act cedes narrative control and allows isolated, decades-old cases to fuel broader perceptions of opacity regardless of the original administrative outcome.